Here we are at one of the intersections of Highway 143 with Snowbird Road. Yes, there is another section of Highway 143 with Snowbird Road as well, but it is far more eastward, closer to Robbinsville. Now, on this episode of Let's Explore This, we are going to be taking this stretch of Snowbird Road deep into the Snowbird Mountains. And we have arrived at this intersection here with Big Snowbird and Little Snowbird Roads. On this episode, you will be taken far down this road right here, Big Snowbird. In fact, you will be taken all the way to the end. You see, at the end, there was once something. I am not sure if I'd call it a community, but it is listed as a kind of community on some gazetteers. Now, for this one, you better hang on. I do not know what to expect on my way there. From what I have gathered, this could be one ride I will not forget. This here is from an online hiking blog. First off, it talks about a 4 to 5 mile unpaved road. Well, that doesn't sound too good. Then, it does discuss an area called Junction. Yes, it appears to be in the area I need to be. As a hiking trail, I suspect most people just think of it, as it is so named Junction, as being possibly a, confluence of creeks or roads. However, that alone is unlikely to place it in a gazetteer. Well, I have set out to find out where the name really comes from. With a name like Junction, one would think it may have once been some kind of railroad depot. Large swaths of Graham County were once heavily logged. Okay, folks, we have arrived at a section of Big Snowbird Road, the section where it turns into a dirt road. Reportedly, I have to travel about, 5 miles, maybe a bit less, on this dirt road. Here, there appears to be a sign. Let's see what it says. Oh, it's only a warning for campers. It's not like a sign talking about this road or anything. Still, apparently, all campsites are on a 14-day limit within a 30-day period, so I am going to assume this is a designated wilderness area. Now, reportedly, Junction, it is situated at the end of this dirt road, and I have read that it holds some kind of parking lot. I don't know. As we find out, just remember, those early days when Graham County was logged, railroads, they once snaked across the land in areas far too many to count. Was Junction, therefore, once a railroad depot? I don't know. Let's find out. Now, we have finally arrived at what appears to be the site of Junction. Now, folks, did you know that I am now standing in what was once a huge log yard? Oh, yes, it is all laid out in this, what I believe to be a kind of Hiker's Guide to the Snowbird Area. Furthermore, this blog also sheds some light on the area. You see, this parking area is known as Junction because in the early days of the area, this was where the logging railroad intersected the main road, and it was home to a big log yard. The Snowbird Creek area was heavily logged from 1928 to 1942 by the Bemis Lumber Company. The person who wrote this article, who appears to be anonymous, talks about the days his grandfather as being one of the hundreds of men who spent their weekends at one of the many logging camps, only to catch the train back into town for the weekends. He told of catching speckled trout by the hundreds to be fried up to feed the hungry loggers. So, folks, if you ever do come to this area, to do some hiking or whatnot, just imagine the huge logging train filled with logs as it chugged its way down this here creek. Reportedly, at many of the sites of the old logging camps, there is still evidence of the men who worked there. This evidence may be in the form of huge piles of tin cans from the mess halls or railroad ties or rails. In this time of the year, with all the leaf cover on the ground, finding something like a railroad piece is probably going to be a bit difficult than it would, say, in a time of year when all the trees have their leaves. By the way, if you do ever see any, do not remove them. They're not yours, and they're not souvenirs, but they're rather artifacts of the past for people who come to this area to wonder in amazement. In some places, reportedly, you can still find lumps of coal left over from the stockpiles needed to fuel those trains. Yes, hiking up this here Snowbird Creek, it can be like taking a trip back in time. Overall, for this episode, as for myself, I have time for very little hiking. Therefore, I am only going to search within what little mileage I will be hiking today. Sorry, but you will have to come here if you want to see more. Though, maybe I will come across something. Regardless, yes, a narrow gauge railroad and its incline tracks. They did extend up into the upper watershed. As the logging progressed, camps were established at many sites. Okay, folks, there is something I have to do here, 'cause, well, what is this? Okay, is there anyone else at the other end of that pipe? Like, at wherever it might lead to? Like, I don't know, many miles down there somewhere. I wonder if somebody will hear this. Hello? I don't hear a reply. Oh well. At the peak of operations, 240 men worked out of 2 camps. From 1928 to 1942, more than 100 million board feet of timber was hauled out over what was once here, the Buffalo Snowbird Railroad. In 1943, the federal government acquired the Big Snowbird area and made it a part of the Nantahala National Forest. From the start, Forest Service management had consisted mainly of fire protection and custodial care. Time, protective management, and a new forest are slowly erasing those old logging scars. Snowbird Creek, once muddied with silt, today it runs clear and sparkling again. With that said, yes, that time has come once again. That time to move on.